everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Oh my god, you guys, I am so excited to do another celebrity wig recreation. And today we're going to be doing Wilma Flintstone. Yes, because a client asked for it for Halloween and I got to do a quick turnaround. So we're making content out of it. But before we get started, this video is brought to you by Manscaped. Now it is the Halloween season and I thought I could do a really big scripted Manscaped ad. But what is scarier than drag queens talking about their junk? Thanks to Manscaped, I have the cleanest shop around. That's right, my bush has never been smaller. Just think long and hard about that. I use this on my no-no bits, and I can tell you firsthand, it is fabulous. With the Lawnmower 4.0, you will free yourself from painful nicks and cuts. Yes! Think long and hard about that. And I have a special treat for you all. If you use my code JAYMESM, you'll save 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Get Jaymes Manscaped today. All right, we are back. Now, you're gonna hate me for this, but I have to section off some hair because for Wilma Flintstone, she has an updo. So I'm going to take this off and I have to do a French twist braid in the back. And y'all already know what I do with that. So I'm not gonna get started, but when I come back, I promise I will have a long, lengthy conversation about the history of Wilma Flintstone that you'll probably correct me on in the comment section later. So just a quick cut. Be right back. All right, here we are. Now I have the hair all put up in a ponytail. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. So here we go. I'm gonna start working on the fringe because this client asked to have sort of, you know, fringe that peeked away from the face. If you look at Wilma Flintstone, she didn't really have a lot of fringe, but we're doing our own interpretation because this is what they wanted. That's what you do when you have a client. You have to please the client and do what they want, even though it may not necessarily be accurate to what they want. If that makes any sense. Basically, don't take on clients, they're difficult. But here we go. I am just adding a tease to the bang. This is sort of like that party pony I did before. Very similar. Updos, especially as soon as you learn that French twist and master it, it doesn't have to be nice in the back as long as it is effective, because all you really do it for is to make sure that the hair has enough, the cap has enough space in the back so that's not ripping up your head, you know, because the wiggles tend to travel. That's what you do that for. Because when you just do my old school way where you tie two ponytails and pull it tight, it's gonna ride up. And you're less likely to have that happen to you if you just do the French twist. Wilma Flintstone. Oh my goodness. So this is taking me back. I remember I used to watch reruns of the Flintstones on Cartoon Network. That was like the 2 a.m. block. They'd show the Flintstones, one episode of the Jetsons, and 5 episodes of the Flintstones after that. So again, the humor was a little adult for me because when it came out, believe it or not, boys and girls, the Flintstones was a sitcom. It wasn't a cartoon. It was sort of in the same vein of The Simpsons or Family Guy. They were cartoons meant for adults. It was an animated sitcom. So that's why some of the jokes, when you watch it back, it's this is for kids? No, it wasn't. It just sort of kind of, became that because Hanna-Barbera that created it eventually got absorbed by Cartoon Network. So in order to fill up time in blocks 1 a.m. instead of, having ads, they would just run their own cartoons. And this is long before Adult Swim. My goodness, I'm giving you a history lesson right now. Oh my gosh. Just for me being, a human alive for that. You had to stay up really, really late to eventually see, infomercials on Cartoon Network. You're up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. when they didn't have anything and they switched over to their morning block. But Flintstones is always the late night block. I do remember that. And I remember there are certain things about it that I really, really liked. They used to have guest stars all the time, and my favorite one was Anne Margaret when she came as Anne Margrock, and she performed that song, I Ain't Gonna Be Your Fool No More, which is impossible to find for a long time. I searched a long time. I remember going to the library trying to find old compilation albums that might have that song on there, because she didn't really release it anywhere else, and it was barely released on CD. I don't think it made it to record, but it was such a fun little boppy song. I was oh, I love this. And you got to see her, a little animated Anne Margaret doing the twist. There was even a movie in the 90s that I do remember that I don't remember liking.
I liked Halle Berry in it, but I didn't remember liking the movie that much. Okay, so we have our fringe all teased out in the front. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate this front section. And Wilma has sort of like a victory roll happening. So that's what we're going to play around with. We're going to try and do like a spin on that, to where we still can have fringe and everything too. Take that and pack it down. A good solid base is always what you want when you're just about to do a victory roll or anything having to do with like a structured fringe. Okay. Like that. Ooh, got the hairnet all caught up on it. Good Lord. Let's start working our fringe. But like Wilma Flintstone was meant to be sort of like a play on the wife from the Honeymooners. Because that's essentially what the TV show was an animated ripoff of the Honeymooners, which was a very popular sitcom in the 1950s that basically the running joke was that he was going to beat his wife. That's what it was. You know, one of these days, Alice, right to the moon. That was like the big punchline from that. Doesn't really hold up nowadays, but that was the 50s for you. The Flintstones took the core concept of that without, you know, the violence. You know, they replaced that punchline with Fred Flintstone being locked out of his own house at the end of every, you know, theme song, which I prefer, because Fred Flintstone always annoyed me. Let's work on the fringe. It's not as neat as I want it to be. I'll be going back and forth to work on it, but I just want the basic shape there, because that's Wilma! Yeah, her sides were kind of like weird. It's basically like a lazy way of drawing a bun without putting ears on. So we are going to give her a fringe, and that's gonna be that. Now, normally, if you want to be like completely accurate to the show, you would just pull everything back and do a big bun. But that's no fun, you know? It's just a regular ass bun. Who cares? Let's give her a little bit of a fun animated fringe. So now those of you who are sticklers for exact interpretation, just pull it back and there you go. Do a bun. We're gonna have some fun. Cut it a little shorter and I can play around with those ends, make them shorter or longer, but it's a nice hanging fringe, and that way in case the wig, which in this case is from Amazon, doesn't go all the way down to the head, you have the fringe to work with to cover things. All right, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Now, I'm gonna be doing a change of pace here. That fringe I wanna do, this wig was giving me some problems. So we're gonna do what I know is gonna work, and we're gonna create a snatch back with the hair. Now I pulled down a little bit of fringe here, just so I can like possibly try and curl this later to get something to hide the sideburns with in case the wig is too small. But I'm gonna snatch the rest of the hair back on the sides. And which will be fine too, because that'll be more accurate to what Wilma's hair actually was like. It's a cartoon, what am I saying? Either way, you get what I mean. You get where I'm going, okay? Like I said, whenever a problem arises, you can always find your way out of it. Like as long as you know basics in hairstyling, or wig styling I should say, especially if you are following my channel, there hasn't really been many videos where I felt like I was, you know, up creek without a paddle. There's always a way around something. And like I said, like these bright, colorful hairstyles, sometimes like the fibers just flight you. And you gotta go with what you know. Do this, and I'm gonna tie off the rest of that fringe into a ponytail. And there's enough teasing on here too where it's gonna elevate on the sides too, so if someone with a bigger head is wearing it, it's gonna look a little bit more proportionate. You have little dangling fringes there. Now, put that to the side, let's work on our bun. Now the bun is the fun part. Here we go. I'm gonna take my teasing comb and just start small sections at a time and start raking it down. Rake, 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 push, rake, 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 push, packing it all in. And this version of a bun I had seen on a wig, an outfitter's wig that I actually had owned, where basically, you know, like a huge ball of teasing that's smoothed out on the sides. And since Wilma Flintstone's a cartoon character, it's gonna work perfectly. And plus, this will make the wig nice, light, and airy, so that it's not like a big double stack on top of the head. You absolutely could just stick on, you know, a similar color bun piece and be done. But we're gonna try and make something today. For the bun, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna try and separate this bang as much as possible so that she stays out of the way. And I'm gonna start twisting the bun around so that we get a nice roundness going. And when it starts to form into, you know, this stuck up bun like that, we're gonna start smoothing it and spraying it. Like so. small sections at a time, smoothing it, and then we'll spray it. And then what I might also do is I have a white wig cap. I may put that on top of this just to, like, you know, keep the bun in place after it's been hairsprayed and pinned. Because with white, you won't see it. Like when the light hits it, it'll just look orange. But that's how we're doing it. See how smooth that's getting just by going around it slowly, section at a time. And when it comes time, I just take a bobby pin and start sticking it in there to keep the hair in place. And we're gonna do that several places because the whole of the bun should be in the top right here. And that's what's gonna be holding everything together. So let's just keep going around and hairspraying. Now I'm gonna keep smoothing this off camera. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Now I was sticking little pins all around it to keep it together and inside the bun as well on the sides, just to add more security. I've already hairsprayed the crap out of it, and I'm gonna cover it with a white wig cap, like I said, like a hairnet, and that's gonna work as far as, like, you know, against the light. Instead of a black one, the white one will absorb the light and make it look like orange. That's a little, you know, hairstylist trick whenever we have buns and stuff. So let's move on to the final steps. I'm going to do the fringe. Now we have this that we need to work through and smooth out. I've been periodically packing it and repacking it. Now the hair itself for a victory roll is still a little too long, so I'm going to trim it some, just so it'll mold that shape a little better. How much fringe came out? All right, now, victory roll. As you all know, a victory roll is very similar to how I do like my little swoop bang. Only this one you can do with any kind of texture of curl, just about, as long as you pull it tight enough. I'm going to angle it and curve it around, and see it's already starting to do my usual fair. Now, like that, we are going to start playing around with the ends and start under-rolling it. I've showed y'all how to victory roll a bunch of times, but I don't mind re-showing you. You know, mommy loves you. She'll keep doing it. And we're gonna try and have some fun with this Wilma hair so that that's sort of like the desired result I want. Is to have the curl up front like that. But it's gonna require some hairspraying and pinning. So, just keep messing around with it until it starts to do what you want. Add some hairspray and mold it. And honestly, with victory rolls, it's all about playing with the size of what you want the roll to look like. If you want it bigger or smaller. And these can be clipped to whatever preference you want. I leave them a little longer because I trust, you know, a client to clip them the way they want. So, you know, adjust it to their own face. Most of the time, though, when I leave the fringe, they just leave it entirely long and don't cut it at all. And I end up cutting it out in their head when I see them next. That is essentially the style. I'm just picking through with the hair and pulling it and adjusting it with my hands. That is the look. So I'm going to do some finishing touches and clean it up. And I'm not going to try this wig on. Like I said, it's for a client, so that's not sanitary for me to put it on my head. So I'm going to put on one of my wig heads, and I'll be right back with the final result and tell you all about it. Be right back. Welcome back. This is the final result. This is our girl. Check her out. I put the white hairnet over it to protect the bun, just as an extra security. You don't have to do that. You can just really hairspray the crap out of it, but I just like to do that. It's like my own little thing. And plus, if it's for a Halloween costume party, no one's gonna see it. Anyways, this was so much fun to do. I cannot wait to see this wig in action. Yes, I feel the Flintstones fantasy happening before my eyes. But before I go, I'd like to take a moment, a then moment where I thank everyone who's tipped me on Venmo. I would like to thank Sergio, Devin, Tori, Sylvia, Sergio again, good lord, Christopher, and Galen. Thank you all so much for the tips on Venmo. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun to do. Now, I like doing cartoon wig creations. I think they're really fun, and it kind of like gets your imagination going. If there's any animated characters you want to see me tackle next, let me know down below. This one just kind of stumbled my way because, well, a client needed it, and I thought, well, let's make some content out of it. Let me know down below any animated characters you would like to see, and I'm happy to oblige. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye! Now hit the outro!
Click here and see me give my Instagram crush a makeover. Or see me style a ponytail with one wig. Come on, click it, you know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll trap your soul inside of a doll and create a film franchise out of it. So click it.